Hello everyone, this month's Kizuna is here. This first team utilizes, well, all three teams will utilize friend Captain Drake because he is a point booster, meaning, okay, well I guess he's a ticket booster. So he will boost the amount of tickets that get dropped, meaning you can get more rewards. He also has double stats and rainbow affinity, meaning he will be effective against all colors. There is a treasure map Luffy support on Yamato. Just lets you stall one less turn because on this stage we will be stalling 2 turns so that by the time you reach the final stage there will be no more attack down. No one on this team can get around the attack down. We're kind of using Drake's captain ability with his... It's sort of like Shanks' crew's combined captain ability where the amount of perfects you hit increases the amount of end of turn damage he will deal. I believe it goes up to about 400 times his attack. So not as strong as Shanks' crew, but Shanks' crew you had to be in their combined form. Inu and Neko, quite an old legend, but they're one of the only higher orb boosts that boost both Psy characters. Okay. They're one of the only higher orb boosts that I could find that was able to boost Drake as well as other members of this team such as Yamato themselves and Bottom Clay who can turn into Striker. Jinbei and Kuja Pirates don't really get boosted. Jinbei can probably be slotted in for any other affinity booster. He has the advantage of boosting strength and Psy affinity, but the crew is not full HP, so you don't even get his 2 times, you only get 1.75, and 6.1 times chain multiplier. Pretty good. This next team is a more powerhouse-based team. One thing I am noticing is that they seem to be heading more and more to a restrictive playstyle. By that I mean the cooldown reduction you receive at the start of the fight, it's only either 2 classes or 2 colors now, and I mean that greatly limits the amount of units you can use conveniently. Obviously there are still boosted units, but most Kizuna units don't see play and are pretty niche. Like the only one that sees consistent amount of play, here I was hovering over Queen, because you never actually take damage on the first stage, so his special deals a 0 damage, which does not trigger Smoker support, so you probably would rather attach Smoker support onto Magellan. In this clip I do miss out on King's chain boost, since if you had the attack boost, King's special would activate automatically on the final stage, which would allow you to use his special on the second stage. Meaning that the next turn he will give you a chain boost. As I was saying, Kuja Pirates, they can really be slotted onto any team with 50,000 HP to get the guaranteed conditional boost. They don't even, because that is a universal boost in damage. Conditional boosts are never restrictive unless it's looking for specific crew requirements. This dex variation of the Kizuna really incentivizes you to build a powerhouse and striker team with treasure map ulti. So if you do not have ulti, it's not the end of the world, since there are a couple of affinity boosting supports, such as a rare recruit Kid who boosts it by 1.3 times. Ulti with her special will grant a double affinity boost on the next turn, and the boss on this variation will interrupt on affinity boosts. So you don't want to activate any sort of affinity boost on the final stage. You'll get your buffs cleared and slot bind, that sort of thing. Nekomamushi on this team is only there to trigger Odin's super type, as well as to get around the special bind on the second stage. Usahachi is to get rid of the defense up and the damage threshold. Theoretically, you don't have to get rid of the defense up, though Jack's defense reduction is not 100%, I believe it's around 75%, so you will lose a lot of damage. And you probably want to put a Akainu support on Queen here to guarantee strength orbs, so that you can have a full board. But Kuzan will shuffle your orbs randomly whenever your orbs are manipulated, so that isn't too big of a deal. I'm now just gonna spend the next 2 minutes, or even more than that, just rambling. So I want to talk about how Bandai has been releasing information regarding like the gimmicks in each Kizuna. I'm just gonna call them gimmicks. I have no better word to describe them that I can think of at the moment. So they don't reveal the colors of each variation, which I find highly problematic. Like, what is the point of giving a detailed, it's not even detailed, it's just a breakdown of each Kizuna's variation. They just say which debuffs are gonna be there, but they don't actually say how many turns of each debuff or even what color they are. But I have been finding it pretty easy to guess which color it is. For example, the in variation, that's probably okay, it's not the most, I have seen other people guess and I just don't understand their reasoning, but all I can say for the int variation is that there is super swap, cooldown reduction or whatever, and the only legend that is a dual unit that got their super swap was the Frankie and Chopper legend, and they're a Psy and Dex unit, so immediately you know Bandai wants you to use that legend on that fight. So the boss is either going to be int or quick, and if you look at all the, okay, never mind. So that narrows it down to 2 colors, int and quick. You can see that the boss is also going to have resilience, so that a recent unit that can get around resilience is Arena Hawkins, who is also a Psy unit, so 2 units that could align with a certain color, which is int. Now let me just go on to the strength variation. So you can see Special Rewind, who reduces cooldowns. Well, Legend Brook reduces cooldowns, albeit he does not reduce them to a degree where he is actually useful in the fight, but he still reduces cooldowns. You get an HP cut. Which captain ability has a higher attack boost under a certain HP threshold? Legend Brook has that. He has a 5 times attack boost under 30% HP, and guess what? Although the HP, the amount of the HP cut was not revealed, we now know that it's a 70% HP cut. Convenient that that fits Legend Brook. But yeah, it's pretty vague, obviously, but the strength variation also has the thing where you get attacked down below a certain chain after level 30, and that is just another hint towards Legend Brook, who is quick, so quick type effective against strength. The boss is obviously going to be strength. And if you figured out the 2 first colors, you will automatically know the 3rd color, since we know that Drake is strength and type, which means that is type effective against Dex. And since there has been no Dex boss so far, it has to be Dex. The final boss has to be Dex. What things hint toward Dex? Well, Treasure Map ulti is like the unit Bandai wants you to use for this fight. She gets around the affinity interruption on the final stage. And what else is there? Really nothing else, is there? Oh, I think there was a paralysis reducer, but I forget who reduced paralysis. Oh yeah, it was Pirate Festival or Rogue or whatever. But the thing is, Bandai does not care about their Pirate Festival exclusive legends. They just do not care. So, and we already had, well, they just don't care. So, admittedly, this could have been Sai, but Kizuna legend takes priority, alright. It's a Kizuna, and they want you to pull for the Kizuna legend, even though Kizuna legend is already type effective against everything. Yeah, the paralysis doesn't make much sense. It's likely there to just throw you off, though I don't know why Bandai has to hide the colors and leave the community guessing. It's beyond me. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. I've just been practicing my talking or / public speech abilities. Thank you for listening if you have been listening. It's just thanks. There will be GARP challenge worst generation videos in a few days, or one video in a few days. I won't be doing any more GARP'S challenge videos, most likely, unless they release new GARP'S challenges, because what I find is that my older videos, which feature really old teams that are inefficient and were built with the idea of, or with the goal of completing a class and a color mission at once, and class missions don't even exist anymore, but people still watch those videos for whatever reason, and those videos get more views than the new videos I pull out, I upload, and it's just absurd to me that people, I guess it's probably just the algorithm recommending highly viewed videos instead of my newly uploaded videos. But my newly uploaded videos just get a lot less views than what my older videos continue to get, and those older videos just feature inefficient teams when you could be clearing it much faster. That's just my thought on why I am not doing further revisions of my GARP'S challenge teams, because it's really, recording takes a lot more time than I'd like it to, and admittedly my first worst generation teams were pretty support heavy and not easy to run, and I think these newer teams are quite good, with the exception of maybe the side team. I was fooling around for the side team.